Good morning to the members of the media, and good morning to everyone who is viewing in-house and externally. This morning it is a pleasure and honor to report on the progress at the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. I will be making this presentation on behalf of the entire division, which includes myself as the secretary, Mr. Sonny Craig, my able assistant secretary, and Mrs. Denise Toby-Quashie, the administrator within the division. Before I forget, I would also like to publicly thank all members of staff within the division, because they continue to do the hard work. They continue to make the policies a reality. They continue to be the ones who are there on the ground, ensuring that the things we present actually happen. And I want to thank each and every one of them at the onset. My presentation will include several things. It will be pretty short, but it will include me doing quite a bit of talking, but it will also include a few clips of activities that we had throughout the period. Most of the data that I will present will include what we consider third quarter data, July to September data, so just so that you are aware. First, I would like to start with the Department of Social Protection. Now, one of the things we came into at the division is a reality that many of the partnerships that we have within the division are not as well structured or not as well fleshed out as they should have been. The Department of Social Protection includes all of those entities that ensure that we are alive and well and so forth. And part of that includes how we treat with children, particularly children who are vulnerable, children who are in need of care and protection. And one of the things we came into was an understanding that we needed to work even closer with the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. So we are in the progress. You know, I'm starting with this. This is one of the things where we are not complete yet, but we are in the process of redefining the MOU between three entities, and that includes the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, the Children's Authority, and we also needed to ensure that we are very, very clear on how we also work with the Tobago Regional Health Authority, because we recognize that there were some gaps there where children in need of care and protection may have needed medical care, and we needed to be very clear on how that works. So the MOU is currently being looked at. There is a draft. All parties are looking at it as we speak, and hopefully by December 12th, I would be able to say that MOU is complete and we have a clearer understanding of how we work together. The next slide is going to be one that speaks to one of the grant programs that we have within the division, and I'm not clicking it yet because it is actually a video clip of our last presentation where we gave a grant to individuals who are members of Tobago, some of them are members of some of them are clients of ours. And the point of this REACH program is to ensure that we get our clients outside of needing our social protection to the point where they can have their own businesses and they can employ others and they do not need us anymore. So this is a quick presentation that we had from the REACH program. This is where Tobago's economy will develop. It is the man on the ground, the small business owner who can reach some of the clients that, you know, some of the larger businesses can't reach. It is one of those things where you talk about drop, every drop fills the bucket. You need to look at your small area, your village, your area that you are focusing on. So it might be that you're a fisherman and you may not have thought about what you can do with the fishing industry before. In your mind, that might be a small area that you are focusing on, and that's fine. Do what you need to do. That is $100, $1,000, $10,000 in the economy that was not there before. So don't think about anything that you do as small, but think about it as being a part of the larger economic development that we need to happen in Tobago. So that REACH program, at that distribution, we were able to give out, I think it was 13 grants. Many of these, all of the individuals you saw in the program are individuals who have been recipients of the REACH grant. And as you can see, they're doing quite a large number of activities. At this, we got to 13 and we had to stop because the money did done. But I am very happy to see that in the draft estimates that we've seen so far coming out of the Ministry of Finance, we are getting a little bit more money for that specific program, so we will be able to do a whole lot more as we go along. Another component of social protection refers to how we treat with individuals who may have substance use or substance misuse issues. And one of the departments that has done quite a lot of work during that period is the ADAPT department. They have done, these are pictures of the Clean Air Fair, where we celebrated our World No Tobacco Day that was in Buko. As you could see, we have a lot of children involved in that, and that program included participants from the various schools coming together, doing arts and so forth. And we also had a substance misuse symposium a couple weeks ago, where we actually had individuals who are survivors, individuals who themselves continue to struggle with substance use and substance misuse issues, encouraging those who may be at a different level to be a part of the process and to continue working together, to continue evolving, to continue making the difficult decisions and taking the difficult steps to stay sober. This is one of our educational programs within the division, and it's something that I'm very, very proud that we've been able to continue doing throughout this period. We've also had a focus on men within the gender unit of the division. And these are just two of the programs that we looked at. We had a Men in Fatherhood discussion where we had some of our fathers within the division, and we had fathers from outside of the division do a very healthy conversation, have a very healthy conversation online. And we've also done quite a bit of outreach programs where we focus on treating with men, chatting with men, ensuring that we do not forget that our men folks need the kind of support that we tend to usually just give to what we call the fairer sex, or those, the children. But we have to remember that all of us, every single one of us, man, woman, and child, needs the kind of support that we need to present to them. So just so that we have some specific data from the Department of Social Protection, we have, within that period, we've gotten 65 cases, and it's not there, but 65 cases of individuals were referred for counseling, and that included counseling for all kind of things: depression, self-harm, trauma, grief and loss, just regular family counseling, abuse, which included adult abuse, and so forth. The officers at that department, the officers at the therapeutic counseling department, continue to work very, very hard. They continue to provide the kind of professional, and let me just make a plug here. I know that in Trinidad and Tobago we tend to think, or we tend to not believe in the power of counseling, the power of therapy. The folks at my department, the therapeutic counselors, are all professionally trained therapeutic counselors. You're not hearing your business on the street anywhere. When you go to the therapeutic counselors, they are there. They have been working very hard. We were just able to increase the number of them. We just had interviews and so forth, and we are getting a couple more of them hired within this week or next week. So if you need counseling, please reach out to us. We have a hotline, and the number for the hotline is 683-8341. Again, that's 683-8341, and that hotline is for counseling at with our therapeutic counselors. Just so that you know, we've also been giving out quite a bit of grants and so forth over the last period as well. We've had household items distributed, you know, someone's lost their fridge or stove or that kind of thing, medical assistance, burial assistance, rental assistance, which seems to have been the largest within that period. I am sure that when we get to December, following what happened over the last weekends or so, those numbers would rank up a bit. And we've also been able to distribute in that period 117 food cards. As you know, when we got into office in December, one of the first things that the Secretary for Finance did was, in essence, put out the food card from Finance and send them over to Social Protection, which actually makes perfect sense because that is where they should be. And those young ladies have been working very hard, ensuring that we're able to provide the support. If you need social protection support outside of the counseling, there is also a hotline that you can call, WhatsApp message. That is 683-8347, 683-8347. And at that number, any of the questions you need, how to get the counseling, how to apply for a food card, I need help in any other way, call that number, WhatsApp that number, message that number, and you could get an answer, you would get an answer to what we need to do. So that is the social protection part. Let me also indicate that things are not working as quickly as I would like them to happen. I recognize coming in that we've had several policies that were deficient, so we've actually spent quite a bit of time over the last couple months reworking our policies, making them very clear, because we recognize that one of the reasons we've had some of the delays is because the policies were not clear, and one social worker would do one thing one way, another social worker would do another thing another way, and then when you get up, you realize both of them were wrong, so we had to start the process again and that kind of thing. So we have been working on getting these policies very, very clear so that we have a very, very seamless transition. And I am hoping that with that and with the new social workers that we have coming on stream and so forth, we can get these numbers up. We could get the individuals who have contacted us but have not been assigned a social worker as yet, we can get those numbers to a better position. Let me move on to health education. One of the things we decided coming into the Tobago House of Assembly is that we wanted to do more public education. These are just, we've decided that we are going to be outside with you, the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, because we are now back outside. We've now come out of the pandemic. We are going to be outside with you. So we were at Blue Food yesterday. This was actually some of my staff volunteering at Great Fete Weekend, where at that time we were giving out hand sanitizers, condoms, COVID-19 tests and that kind of thing. And that is the kind of public interaction you want to keep happening, so that we would ensure that even though you are out there having fun, you are still getting educated, you are still getting information, and you are still protecting yourself. And we would continue doing this. Continue with our health education. You know, we are so happy that even though we made these flyers, even though we have these flyers, even though we have this information, that we have not seen a case of monkeypox in Trinidad and Tobago, but we actually had a program that was ready to treat with it. That program included us using 3 eyes, and this was an internal education and external, where we were telling folks to identify, to isolate, and to inform. So we were ready just in case this came about. Thank God it didn't, but these was just some of the information that has been available out there. Talking about public health, my colleagues and I actually went to Jamaica a couple weeks ago to the Caribbean Public Health Agency conference, and this was a conference that speaks to digitization of the health system. And it is one of those things that we are sorely lacking in the Tobago space. I think in Trinidad and Tobago, and paper and stuff that we use here, most of the rest of the world is not there. We also discover that many of our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean are moving swiftly while we are standing still. So Jamaica, for example, is just about to roll out a full digitization of their full health system. They have earmarked millions of US to do it, because it is going to take that much to do it, and that is where we need to lead to in Trinidad and specifically to Tobago. Now I want to just chat a little bit about the TRHA. The TRHA is an organization that is an evolving one. I get the calls all the time, I get the messages all the time about individuals who are trying to get service at the TRHA, and it is not happening as quickly as we would like, or the system is just not working as we would like. So we implemented re-implemented, because this is something that was there before, an opportunity for the public to get into contact directly with the quality department at the Tobago Regional Health Authority. If you have a concern, if you have a complaint, if you have something that is just not working, you can call those numbers and get to them directly, and the quality department will respond. You can keep messaging me, you can keep messaging the CEO, you can keep messaging the secretaries and assistant secretaries, but this is a way to get to the quality department directly as well. I would also like to plug in this space a call to the Tobago population to keep giving blood. We now have a system within the Tobago Regional Health Authority. Actually, it's a national mandate, where what we did before is that you have somebody who needs blood, you have a family member who needs blood, you go in, you give the blood, you have a little chit that says you donated blood on behalf of this person, so that they can get whatever life-saving surgery they need where blood is needed. What we are pushing the population to do, though, is to go into voluntary blood donation, which means not waiting until somebody you know needs blood, but just going in and donating blood and just having it there, so that if somebody needs it, it is already there, and you don't have to go fighting, you don't have to go trying to convince somebody to donate blood. World Blood Donor Day happened a couple months ago, and we encouraged people to go do that. So this is just a short clip of one of our nurses actually getting blood online from Miss Candice Jackson, who was very, very brave that morning to donate blood on air. So this is just a little clip showing what happened there. And of course, as you can see in the corner before I let the clip run, my assistant secretary, because one of the first places we had the voluntary blood donation drive was at the Bucco Health Center. My assistant secretary was also there sitting on the chair, doing his thing.
My blood bag. Yes. So the pressure cuff is applied to control the flow of blood, and Candice has lovely veins.
I have no idea what that means. That does not sound good.
They are not hard to find.
Oh. Let's do this. This is all live TV.
So that was just the beginning of that process. Candice did go ahead and get her blood, donated blood. She survived, as we all see. Candice is still up and running, doing what she had to do, doing what she does every day. But it shows that it's really not a difficult process, and we really, really want to encourage people to continue donating blood. The Tobago Regional Health Authority, again, continues to be trailblazers in Trinidad and Tobago. We celebrated World Breastfeeding Week at the Tobago Regional Health Authority, but we also implemented a breastfeeding support group at the hospital to encourage mothers, to encourage families who may be having an issue, may need some support to assist in breastfeeding. We encourage them to do that. The team from the TRHA also went to Trinidad as a part of this program and actually cut everybody's tail going and coming in Trinidad. So we were very, very proud to have the TRHA go to Trinidad, as they usually do, and win all of these quality and all of these programs that we have at nationally. I would round out by speaking about the Roxboro Health Facility, which is one of those facilities that when I get a call, I don't know if I should answer the phone or not, to be honest. Because it could go either way getting this thing up and running. Of course, we have the outpatient clinics that we've known, that we've had for several months now. We want to identify, or we want to notify the public that the accident and emergency department is also now up and running, and you can actually get A&E services at Roxboro from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., but only Monday to Friday for now. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday to Friday. If you go, I actually visited the facility last week or week before, and the A&E was actually buzzing. There are a bunch of young doctors and nurses and so forth running that facility. You get in, you get seen, you are treated, and you go out relatively quickly. We also have the handover of some of our what we call variations, which means there were specific, the reason we did not have and we do not have inpatient services just yet is because there were parts of the facility that we could not have gotten licensing for. They needed to be up to a certain mark to get licensed. And those areas have now officially been handed over by UDCOT, so that is a good thing. So now we are at the point where we can, where we have the provisional licensing for some of them, working towards the full licensing, and that means we would soon be able to have our inpatient services. So the pharmacy is there, now oxygen concentrators, which will allow us to fill the tanks there and even fill the tanks and send to other facilities if necessary. The alcohol bond is there, and the mortuary is now up and available. And I would end with the cataract backlog program. As we speak, if everything works according to plan, we should actually be starting our first set of cataract surgeries today. Because we've had, again, one of those situations where we've had several delays, individuals who need cataract surgery and who have been waiting for cataract surgery at the Scarborough General Hospital. This program is specifically for you, where there are people who are waiting 2-3 years to get their surgery done. The assessments have been done. The surgeons are here. We have some of the equipment that came in to do the surgery, and again, letting it be known that the equipment that we are using to do the surgery, that equipment actually stays here when we are done, so we would have access to those equipment at the end of this. So it has been a trying, but in my mind, successful period. We continue to develop, we continue doing what we need to do to ensure that we provide the services to the people of Tobago. And as you continue to work with us, we are asking you to be a little patient for some of the issues. Let me know when it's working and when it's not working, and we will try our best to provide quality service at the division and at the Tobago Regional Health Authority. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary Dr. Beeswell. And just to add a few things that I think she perhaps forgot to talk about. One is that the TRHA board is almost here. The process for the TRHA board, unlike other boards, is that the nominees must be sent down to cabinet. And so that information was already dispatched to the chief administrator, whose responsibility it is to get on to the PS, Office of the Prime Minister. Then that goes to cabinet. Once approved, then the board is installed. At that juncture, we will disclose the names of the members, but note that the information is somewhere in the pipeline, and that should happen shortly. About the Roxboro Health Center, we are happy, sorry, Roxboro Hospital. It was Health Center before. We have actually turned it into a hospital, right? We will be getting there 7 to 7, and that's Monday to Friday. But the intention is to get it all the way to 24-hour operations. For that to happen, it means that we are to do the necessary work and refurbishment for the Roxboro Health Center, so we could do separations of the services between the regular health center for those in the Roxboro Health Center clinic, and of course A&E and hospital operations. So that is in the cards. We also have a plan already drawn up for ensuring that there is adequate living quarters or facilities for medical staff so that they can be resident in the area. That too will assist in ensuring that the operations at the Roxboro Hospital, moving from the health center stage it was at for a long while, is realized. And sometime last week I tried calling Dr. Duke myself, was to commend him, but I did not get him. But I wish to give the commendations publicly because some members of the public met me and they went to Roxboro Hospital to get services for the cataract program that the secretary just spoke about. And one gentleman in particular said to me, he said he felt like he was at a hospital in America. I said, but why? You're still in Tobago here and cold here yet? He said he went there, the staff called him by name throughout the procedure. While he was waiting, he was offered juice and fruits. And after he left the hospital, he received a phone call that asked him to assess the service he just received at the Roxboro Hospital. And if that is how they have started, I think that's an excellent way to start, recognizing that customer service is critical. And I say, let the competition begin. So Scarborough, over to you. Let's see how we could beat that in terms of quality customer service. But I did try calling the head at Roxboro to extend the commendations for the service provided. Because whenever public servants work well, we must tell them thanks and we must congratulate them. And so I am now doing so publicly and encouraging the staff at Roxboro to keep pressing ahead. Next up, we have, I guess, a secretary that you have been wanting to talk to for a long time, the Secretary for the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. And we invite Secretary James, who will describe for you how we have been charting a very progressive course for the island's infrastructural development. Secretary James.